Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to yet another episode of Insights by OutsightX, the one-stop shop podcast for everything about the first-year batch at IPM at DoMS Nalsar. Today with me, I have Aditya who's been one of my closest friends in the first year itself. To give you a little more insight about him, he's been an alumnus of Delhi Public School Meerut. He has been one of the founding members of Tarakki, which is one of an entrepreneurship event which we ended up organizing together. He's worked on a lot of projects like, let's say, with Canva and other portions as well, and he recently made it to the PlaceCom team as well, which is TPAC, if I'm not wrong, the training and placement advisory cell of the institute itself. Alright, so going a little bit into your workings of the NGO that you worked with, which was Urmul Seemant Samiti, which you went in Rajasthan, if I'm not wrong.
Yeah.
So, if let's say you were talking about this NGO and reducing it to the outside world right now, how will you put your initial experiences and then the workings of this NGO out?
So basically, Urmul Seemant Samiti was established in 1994. The basic aim of the NGO was to work for the upliftment of the rural-based population. So it's not like they did a multi-dimensional thing for the people, like enhancing the income of farmers, organizing training camps for people to generate self-employment opportunities, and these are a few to name. Going there, they had their sub-centers and centers in various parts of Rajasthan, like Bikaner, Bajju, it's the one center which I got posted into, Pokhran and Chimala.
Right, so there were like a lot of other places that Urmul had its own influence in all over Rajasthan.
Yeah.
Alright, so now you were a part of the TPAC for a while, but when this went in, you had been very recently inducted.
Yeah.
So this whole portion of getting allotted an NGO had a the process at the behind working as well, where you had to have a Google form, put in your top choices, and then getting allocated. Now, what went through your head before you chose this NGO as your top choices?
So firstly, I acknowledge the institute. They gave us an exhaustive list of 20 plus NGOs which were covering like the entire India, like the most prominent cities, either be north, be west, be south or east. So that was one of the greatest thing which I liked. Secondly, I was to the fact to get to other states, like not technically to UP but to other states, so as to gain their exposure. Rajasthan, as soon as seeing Rajasthan and Gujarat, they were like my first preferences, because I knew that it is summer internship program and I wanted to get out of my comfort zone. I knew like in May, our internships were in May and June, so there's scorching heat.
Right. That would be like a weird situation to be in. Yeah,
like to most people it would sound bizarre, but like getting out of your comfort zone and then achieving things and then doing things, it really adds up to one's life.
It gives more sense of accomplishment in itself.
Yeah.
Right. Alright, so getting a little bit into the the intimate experience, the informal experience that came out, right? So you had a bus ride from Bikaner to Bajju, right? Which was one of the most the most harrowing experience, at the same time the most extremely beautiful experiences, because you're going from a metropolitan area which you've lived for a very long period of time, going to Bikaner, and then from there going to this rural location which is completely different, in a new climate, in a new culture, in a new diving into a new world. So what was that bus ride like for you?
So coming on, I still remember I reached Bikaner around 12 noon. So before going there, the only plausible and feasible solution to reaching Bajju, like my location of NGO, is through a bus ride. So we have like continuous buses after a time interval of like half an hour or maybe 1 hour. So I still remember I boarded into the bus, and since the journey was of 2 months, so I was literally jam-packed with a lot of luggage.
Right.
So getting all that into the bus, and the bus itself was very jam-packed. But again, like there were problems, but problems with opportunities. Like it was such a beautiful experience. It usually took around 2 hours or 2.5 hours to reach Bajju. While through the road, the only thing you can see is vast desert. And believe me, the desert looks pretty awesome. It's like no vehicles, no sound, the calmness, the environment, you can feel it. Even though I'm trying my best, but those are things, those are experiences which are beyond telling, which are worth experiencing.
Because like the vast expanse of seeing nothing but sand, and you're going into this new world per se for the next 45 days of your life. Although very, very intriguing, can also be very scary because you're going to a new world, you're going to work in a new place, meet new people, form new connections, build new relationships.
But a world with plenty of opportunity.
Definitely, definitely. So, going into this world of opportunities right now, you had, reported there and you went with a couple of your friends. You had 3 more people with you, if I'm not wrong, right? So, you've kept your luggage, everything is settled, and now you meet your ROs. Your reporting officers. What was your first initial expression or the impressions of them when you finally ended up talking to them?
Like I previously said, the very great thing was our ROs or point of contact POCs were close to our age bracket. So they could easily relate to a condition, like they could relate. We are coming from metro cities, and such a drastic change is even difficult for people like us. Because I still remember we were the only batch of interns at right there who were from the first year. Coming to a point of contact, he helped, like he went a mile ahead. He did everything he could to make us feel comfortable. Definitely. Because he knew the first thing was to make us feel comfortable, rather than we could do work only after we are feeling comfortable.
Definitely.
So, and we all 4 of us, like my 3 other colleagues who were Deepshika Ladha, Muskan Garodi and Kushal Bansal, any of us had any problem regarding any sphere, we knew that we could approach him and he would give us a plausible solution, a solution which is practical.
Right. So, talking about going deeper into the work given to you by the ROs, there were a lot of field visits that you had to undertake, a lot of data collection that you had to undertake, and then finally coming up with the presentation, coming up with solutions, coming up with new ideas that the NGO could implement on. So, what was your work culture like at Urmul?
Like, it's an NGO, it's not a corporate culture. So the working hours are really flexible. They are concerned with the end result, and that it's based on you. They'll be like, you're coming to an NGO. We won't be going around you and asking you to do work. It's voluntary.
Definitely.
It's a service to the society. They're not forcing you.
Yeah.
So the good thing was the hours were very flexible. They even asked us, what is our forte? What are the things that we like to
work on,
explore,
essentially.
to work upon.
Sure. Yeah.
So they took us exhaustive presentations from each of us. We presented our ideas, we presented our fortes, we presented our capabilities, and based upon that, we were divided into teams of 2. So, the first team consisted of Kushal Bansal and Muskan Garodia. They worked on a really essential project known as the biogas slurry project.
Right.
So the idea was, we have biogas plants. So there are basically 2 components of biogas. One is the biogas and other is the slurry. So they basically have to devise a business plan, a plan which can be adopted by corporates so as to make it more lucrative. And coming on to the second part, the second team consisted of Deepshika and me. So we had to make case studies. We had to interact with people based on our field visits. The field visits were also another experience which I'll be telling shortly. So the field trips, we had to go to the people, ask them how their lives had changed after joining Urmul, after being in association with Urmul. And it was really a great experience, not just because we had to write the project, but it was indeed so great interacting with all those women, all those other stakeholders which you usually don't get the opportunity to interact with.
Right, so it was completely ground level, even in this case, that you have gone to these places, figured out how they work, figured out exactly how their organization functions, and then devise plans to work on it. Right. Okay. So I do remember this one portion where I talked to you about before, that you had mentioned a career counseling video that came up. Would you shed some more light on it?
Yeah, exactly. So while we went there, an ongoing program was going. An ongoing program was in the progress. That was the Samsiksha program. It was funded by Malala Fund. So it was indeed
like a big CSR project that came up.
Exactly. So I remember Kushal was being very enthusiastic that we should record a video. We are going there, we should exploit maximum, we should gain the maximum from this NGO weekend.
Get a marketing campaign running.
So all 4 of us devised one video per head. We did, each of us did a video, one did a video on what is IPM, one did a video on the choices we have available after commerce, one did a video on why IPM at Nalsar. So it was a great option.
So are we going to go into a more informal note here to get a couple of insights into what your work culture was like, what your life was like there. So getting into a little bit of a rapid fire session. We want to ask you a couple of questions. Limit your answers to one word, one phrase, and make them as fast as you can. Okay. All right. So what comes to your mind when I say the name Urmul?
Memories, friendship.
Memories. Oh, okay. That's
Memories.
Right. Okay. And all right. So if you had to describe this complete experience in one word, what would it be?
Worth taking.
Worth taking. So getting into this one aspect that I've been asking everybody, and I loved the answers of everybody up till now. So you've lived there for 45 days. You have tried the cuisine, you have met new people, and you have been in this new interactive world altogether. What are one of the most fun experiences you've had in this whole scenario?
Oh God, believe me, if I start spilling all of them.
just one will do right now.
Okay, the one. Oh, that's a tricky question. So, funny experience. Like not a funny, but like I remember like
a fun experience. Anything will do.
It was very funny. So it was Saturday. It was a Sunday.
Right.
So everyone completed their job, like our ROs, our POCs. Everyone completed their job, and suddenly our RO comes to us and asks, "Hey dude, are you up for a dinner? Let's go to Bikaner." And that's like 8 p.m. in the night.
And a 2.5 hour bus journey.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay.
But we were lucky enough. We had a car. So.
Okay.
And we had the car of the NGO, so we took the car. It was like nearly 10 to 12 people. Like it was like
by the time you reached Bikaner.
No. It was like a proper like a dining, like everyone 10 or 12 people from the NGO.
Oh, okay.
So it was like a very beautiful dinner with all of them. So we reached around 10:30. Our feast was up till around 12. And since we're in Bikaner, it's a city known for its
the
food,
nightlife.
The nightlife. So after having a hearty feast, we went on to see the fort, the very famous Junagadh fort.
Oh, at 12 p.m. 12 a.m.
Like it was closed, so we were only lucky enough to see it from the outside. But like the city was lit.
What were your final takeaways of this whole experience on day 45?
Had quite a few takeaways. So it's always like it takes guts to get out of one's comfort zone and then go to serve the people. So I literally will implore all people to get out of their comfort zone and see, and like it's required to get out of one's comfort zone, because as long as we are comfortable, we are doing job at our pace.
Right.
As soon as we are not comfortable, we do job for others. Secondly, going into village, I had like pre-assumptions. I had assumptions. Oh God, I'm going into a village. Like those prejudices. I'll be honest, but going to village is like heavens. It's like a life, an ideal life, which I should say.
So what was your 45th day emotional experience at Urmul and at Bajju like?
So everyone used to say, like on the first day, everyone used to say that you guys are not liking, or we can make it out from your face that you're like, hurry up, going. But every time they used to say ki beta jab tum wapas jaoge, you'll remember this place, and you'll be the like first one to come back to this place. And I feel very proud to say this, that they're right.
That would wrap up yet another session with yet another brilliant minds of DoMS Nalsar. We're gonna be back with another session, yet another speaker, yet another NGO, and yet another life experience. Stay tuned for more with Insights by OutsightX. Adi, thanks for being here.
Thank you. Pleasure.